morning to you all. I'm sure that we are blessed this morning, happy to be here and ready for a wonderful engagement here in Swakopmund. And thank you very much for identifying Swakopmund as your host. It is my absolute pleasure to extend a heartfelt welcome to you all here at the beautiful city, tourism city of Swakopmund, which is located in the breathtaking Erongo region. We call it the region of excellence.
I come from the Republic of Rwanda. I didn't hear Rwanda being mentioned, so maybe I should give it a shout out on the stage. But I'm based in Nairobi, where the headquarters of this organization are. This is the 7th AfriGEO Symposium, so this platform is not that old, although we have similar platforms in the other continents. So this is really our own platform. It's our organization that brings us together. So we've seen it grow over the past 7 years, and that's due to the efforts of each one of you. So my presence here is to really implore all of you that this is our continental initiative. This is something that is going to grow our industry. So each one of us is called upon to continue contributing to it. So at the growth we have seen, it can even go leaps and bounds. I can't tell you how much potential this platform has, but that will only come from all of us. So I implore and encourage all of you to give your efforts, be there for this initiative. Let it be the most vibrant AfriGEO fraternity or geofraternity across the globe.
Ladies and gentlemen, GEO is at the crossroad currently as it is seeking to renew its mandate. I'm therefore calling on all of us to begin to look at the post-2025 strategy that has been submitted to all member countries. This strategy is supposed to be innovative and to direct us as a community towards a future where we can envision Earth observations transform into Earth intelligence to support our decisions, to drive our economies. Let us remember that the measures of our success will be the lives we save, livelihoods we improve, new business opportunities and jobs we create, resources that are used efficiently, and policy decisions that are implemented. These are all going to be on the Earth intelligence services we create.
Good morning. My name is Hamdi Kassem, not Kashem, but it's okay. I will be reading the speech on behalf of Dr. Tidiane Ouattara, who is greeting you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that the objectives and goals of the AfriGEO initiative align very well with those of Agenda 2063 and the space policy and strategy of the African Union. Therefore, the objective of our participation in this symposium is to show the support of the African Union Commission for the AfriGEO initiative, which we consider one of the major players in the African space ecosystem.
I think it has been spoken by a couple of presenters about when GEO was established, and we have decided as this establishment and the purpose of its establishment was actually highlighted, that as a continent we needed to be well organized to be able to have our own planning and decision making around what are the kind of activities that we want. And in the early days of GEO, I think those who were there in the beginning would know that you would probably have about 2, 3, or at most 5 African countries at GEO. When in its establishment, I think it already had more than 60 member states. And I think for us today to be standing here and to talk about at least 20 countries represented from the African continent, I mean here, but in terms of membership, obviously more than that. This is really quite exciting. And I think it just demonstrates that as a continent, we are ready and willing to take our own destiny into our own hands.
So ladies and gentlemen, efforts are underway at the national level to harness the potential of Earth observation and for the enhancement of our socio-economic development. In 2021, Namibia launched its national policy on space science and technology, which dedicated research calls on Earth observation and amongst its many initiatives. Space science has also been identified as one of the priority areas for research in Namibia. So for the past national research program, we have issued some research calls related to space science and technology.
Here in Namibia, we are called executive directors, and I'm responsible for higher education, technical vocational education and training, and science, technology, and innovation. Those are the 3 portfolios that I'm responsible for. This event is Earth Observations for Africa's Prosperity. Quite a very timely and a very important subject matter to address. The use of remote sensing technologies to obtain data on the state of the Earth, which include the physical, chemical, and biological systems, is critical for planning to ensure that we have a better understanding on the issues that we are faced with. For us in the policy area to be able to make science-based policies and to develop strategies for the sustainable use of our natural endowments that many of our African countries have, and to also ensure that we develop also strategies to ensure that we protect our rich endowments, be it our biological resources, our wildlife, be it any other resources that we are having. We need to come up with strategies to protect these resources.
They got the system, put it wherever they wanted, even in HPC, back in an organization or at a cloud system, and they run it on their own.
There are many obstacles to early warning, to really trying to progress and advance early warning systems and anticipatory action across the continent.
We need to have more water quality data to be incorporated into the GEO portal, and for riverine-based management, we need more products to emphasize on near real-time monitoring.
Here I have examples of, how to collect the data. You have GPS, you have paper records, but most importantly these days we have mobile applications that kind of make the work easier and faster.
And lastly, I think, this has been said before, but we believe that there's a definite synergy between the work we're doing in GMS in Africa and the policies of AfriGEO. And we want to work together, and just from the response, we want more and more people to be involved in marine and coastal domain. So thank you very much. I think I've kept my time. And
one of the key patterns that we have found is quite useful at tackling these development challenges is implementing a specific pattern within the geospatial technology or the GIS space called WebGIS, right? So this is essentially a pattern that allows us to be able to have mapping on any platform at any point in time and can be used by anyone.
There are certain weeds, if they can eat these weeds, if they drink water, they eventually die. So there are a lot of problems that affect the wealth of these rural communities. So we came up with a solution where we are providing livestock tracking monitoring, and what we wanted to start from a very minimum cost based kind of a solution. So we developed a system and we imported GPS tracking devices just to test if there's a demand for technology use in rural communities, because first of all, before you can build a system, you need to understand if there is a market to start with.
There always has to be a champion, an institution that takes the lead, in order to form this. But it's now hosted within the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research to ensure that we have the coordination locally, we have the engagements locally, to ensure that we have the networks, created, we have all the organizations participating to ensure that, we have a viable, vibrant, Earth observations community in South Africa.
And we are proud to have one among us, which is South Africa, which has done amazingly well.
Create a conducive environment for youth engagement, and in what ways can we celebrate and promote the African youth achievements? And also we need to be able to celebrate the youth achievements, because we believe that empowering the African youth in Earth observation is the pathway to progress.
In the end, it's about keeping land in balance and balancing conflicting goals in the area through spatial planning.
We have decades worth of satellite data. Pictures of Africa's geographies. Our coastlines have been archived, produced for more than 30 years. And yet the use of these is still underexploited. So this is what we're really trying to do and change through Digital Earth Africa.
I think universities, at least in Kenya, have a deliberate effort program to ensure more women come into the technical areas.
And what we also believe in is the same as some people have mentioned, where the technology at that level should be an invisible layer to simply support their economic advancement without them having to change or take on or learn or have a very steep learning curve of new technology. So they'll be using AI without actually having to interact with desktop platform.
Now, the project aims to maintain, further develop and provide a sustainable platform for local, institutional, human and technical capabilities across Southern African countries.
Part of the group on Earth observations to assemble and talk about issues in their countries, around the continent that affects them. But it's also an opportunity for countries to showcase what they have done when it comes to the use of Earth observations to address critical issues affecting these countries.
We have more than 20 countries. Majority of these countries that are taking part in this particular event comes from Africa. We have few very strategic parties and partners from outside of Africa, be it country representatives or institutional representatives. That's a promising issue for me, being partaking the first time in this kind of event, this steering committee.